Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. George Santayana said this. Now, many people don't know who he is. Basically, he's a novelist. And to put it simply, he's correct. Many people, including those of people that are in the educational field, think it's okay to ignore certain things, certain pieces of history that are essential. And by this, I'm referring to a few things. For one, school I went to, the school district that I was in from childhood all the way up to graduation, never taught us the essence of the War of 1812. They never explained this to us. I knew nothing about it. Actually, I knew nothing about it until one day when I was watching Pawn Stars and they were talking about it. But essentially, the War of 1812, if you look at it in another perspective, it was actually a second Revolutionary War that the United States fought. As I said, I knew nothing about it. We still fought the same enemy. You know, it was us against the British. But I knew nothing about it, and many other people don't know about it. But that's just one perfect example of one thing I'm going to get into the topic of today. Essentially, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because people wanting to remove pieces of history. And yes, I talked about it in past videos. If you are somebody who actually watches my videos and basically is very avid into understanding history. But quite honestly, I think it's ridiculous. You want to ban pieces of history because they offend? Well, here's the thing, and I might have said this in a previous video too, but our ancestors didn't look at, oh, will this offend our future generations? No, because back then their view was, oh, this offends you? Well, ignore it then. Which, mind blown, that's a magic thing. But anyway, this is something that I wanted to bring up. Yes, I do hold issue with certain pieces of history being stricken from the history books because it offended people. To put it simply, I think it's a ridiculous notion. If something offends you that's in a history book, face the facts. They didn't look at it as, oh, this might offend somebody, 20, 30 years down the road, maybe even a few hundred years down the road. They don't care. It was at that moment. And the reason it's in the history books is because it's something that was an important period in us as a culture. It helped shape our culture. For instance, the Revolutionary War. That helped shape our culture. The reason the Revolutionary War was brought about was because of a new amendment being put into the Constitution, which was the abolishment of slavery. And people were basically very up in arms about abolition of slavery. And it's like, ooh, that's a hot topic, Vincent. You don't want to talk about that. No, I'm going to talk about it because, yeah, it's a hot topic. Slavery was a terrible thing. And I agree with just about everybody that feels that way. slavery was a terrible thing, but it wasn't just black people. There were many other forms of slavery too. There's been slavery since up until, the 1800s. There's still slavery going on now in countries that are, some are third world countries, but, there is still some slavery going on. And people don't look at that. They look at, oh, this offends us. Well, the issue with our country right now is we are too complacent. We're too complacent. We're too comfortable with, technology, the being advancing at a rapid pace at this point, that, if something offends somebody, they can make a real ruckus, and people with the same view can join them and join in that ruckus and make it even worse, until finally somebody's just like, well, this is getting way too far. We're just going to get rid of it. And that's what it is. It's basically, in my personal view, it's just people throwing temper tantrums. But back to what I was getting at. And many people don't understand the fact that, certain things in our own history are important. Now, I just had to do a double check real quick, but anybody know what the 13th Amendment is? You can put it down in the comment section, because frankly, and I'm going to point this out, and this is one of the things I'm getting to. The Second Amendment, which many people know because of advocates on both sides, pro-gun and anti-gun, talking about the Second Amendment. The factual point is that the Second Amendment was not made for, people to go out hunting. That's not what it was made for. It was made for us, the people, to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. Now, I know Penn and Teller did a video explaining this, where they basically said the reason they put it as a tyrannical government was because they had those who wrote the Declaration of Independence and those who wrote the amendments just got done fighting a war with a tyrannical government. And in this case, it's basically saying that we as the American people are within our rights to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. That means if the government, the people that are in charge right now, basically get too overzealous and decide to start making laws which harm our well-being, or in this case, infringe upon our rights. And for those of you who don't understand what I said by infringe, basically take away rights from us as American citizens. We are allowed to fight back and, in some sense, go to war with our own government. So, essentially, what I'm saying is, if they take away the Second Amendment, what's stopping them from taking away the 13th Amendment? What's stopping them from taking away the First Amendment or the Fifth Amendment? For those of you who don't understand what any of those amendments are, the First Amendment is your freedom of speech. Second Amendment, freedom to carry a firearm. Fifth Amendment, your freedom to basically remain silent. That is your right to remain silent and not to implicate yourself. And the 13th Amendment, which I asked everybody to put down in the comment if they know what it is. If you don't, please look it up. I'm giving you something to do. But what's stopping them from taking away all these amendments from us as American citizens then? If they take away one, they can take away all of them. Just wanted to throw that out there, get everybody's enlightenment on it, and basically just put in my 2 cents. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, comment down below, and if you know the answer to the 13th Amendment, please comment that down below, and we'll talk to you later. And to everybody out there, happy holidays.